I guess want to make an update video for the Poison Spark Pathfinder I've been playing. First off, I'm going to show off a budget version. It's not really budget in that it's still going to cost you over 200 divines, but it removes the original sin. So that's like 400 divines removed. To swap to this, all I'm going to do is put a Calendar's Touch on to duplicate this ring. I'm going to take off my Asenaths, and we're going to swap to Volker's Guidance. This is the lightning damage can poison, but you get 50% less poison duration. So this is just simply a massive damage loss, but it's still viable as I'm going to show you. And finally, since I'm in standard, I'm running Void Manip instead of Inspiration. I'm going to take this out and just run it on 5-link to show you. So 5-link Gaming, Calendar's Touch instead of Original Sin, and then Volker's Guidance. I'm going to showcase this map, Sanctuary, with 100 AoE, big crit, additional projectiles, +1 frenzy, +1 power, all that stuff. And then this is with back to basics on too. Need some fragments. As you can see, I'm on a full map effect tree to make this as hard as possible. So 278 Inco AoE, 2000% crit chance, blah blah blah. Crit shouldn't matter because I'm crit immune, but makes it fun. So the reason they're dealing so much damage right now is because they're not poisoned, so therefore they can crit. But as soon as I poison something, I'm like immune to its crits. So I just have to get to the boss. Here it is. Nope, that's got baited. The leads are annoying. After this showcase, I'm going to show off some new tech we found. And yeah, build's feeling better than ever. So, running a regen flask, 5-link, yep, good to go. So even with Volkers and a 5-link, you can see that the damage is pretty good. I don't even know if that seal is dodgeable with 300 ink AoE. I might be getting crit, to be honest, with the because she's not technically poisoned, so I don't know if these skills can crit, and if they have increased crit chance. But we made it through. Oh, I'm also not cursing, so that's a big thing. When you lose Asenaths, you lose the curse on hit, and then when you lose Original Sin, you lose basically a despair effect. So when you swap to this build, there's a few other swaps I'd recommend. One of which is using a Chaos Inoculation. I don't know if I have one. A Chaos Inoculation, Impossible Escape. No, I don't have one, but one of these jewels. You would get a Chaos Inoculation one. And what that effectively lets you do is, in a ring around this, you would allocate Whispers of Doom, Atrophy, possibly Aura Effect or RMR, and then you can also get Serpentine Spellslinger, and there's a node over here for 25% chance to poison on hit. And this solves your poison chance issue, because we're now running Infused Flesh on the Anoint, which is Recoup, instead of Toxic Strikes, which is right here. So I'm only at 90% chance to poison. Somewhere. Doesn't matter. I'm only at 90% chance to poison. But I feel like the Recoup makes me a lot more tanky, because with Progenesis, I think I have 25% increased effect. I need 33 Recoup to out-sustain this. And I have 18 here, plus 25 on the ring. So I have 43 Recoup, which feels really nice. Alright, so that's the budget version. Like I said, it is still very expensive because you need to craft a quiver, you need Defiance of Destiny, you need Progenesis. So those are, and probably you also need Mage Blood. You can theoretically craft a Tied to Time version, but I wouldn't recommend it. And also the ring's very expensive. Everything about this build is expensive. I'm just warning you. So I'm gonna go over the updates we found now. So let me fucking my list out. Okay, first update is we now have 90 max res. How do we do this? Well, Intolerance of Sin, right? This is a node on Militant Faith with 4 elemental damage and 1% reduced mana cost of skills. And we get +1 max res if you have at least 150 devotion. We have like something like 200 devotion, I think. I think it's miss. Yeah, 200 devotion. So this is always up. Now, this is also applies to chaos, right? So if I take this off, you see 89, 89, 89, 59. And it goes to 90, 90, 90, 59. The problem with the chaos res is it's not overcapped because I dropped that from Original Sin. Now you see it's 76. So that's also, you're going to have to get more chaos res if you run no Original Sin. Quick solution for that is to simply get T1 on the quiver instead of 30, because that simply gives you like 20 chaos res because we multiply it by 3.5. So that's a fix there. So yeah, Intolerance of Sin. This is a little annoying to search for, but effectively what you want is just Intolerance of Sin on Shaper and nothing else, right? Because you need Potency of Will, you need Dreamer, and you need Constitution. You don't want these to be overridden by any other nodes. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the links setup. I was getting a bunch of questions saying, hey, there's so many open gem sockets, I don't know what to put in the skills, so I'm going to go over what I recommend now. Open that up. Okay, so here's POB. This is a POB of someone in League. Credit to Rezovic for this in my Discord. Oh, speaking of, if you want to ask any questions about this build, I'll put a link to my Discord in the description, and just ask any questions. Link your POB, all that stuff. So he's running, the League setup, right? And he's running all this stuff. He's running Spark with Inspiration, and you see that his mana cost is 16. Well, since his mana cost is about 50 per second, this opens the possibility of using Sigil of Power. And Sigil of Power is actually a really, really strong skill. It's very underused. And at level 1, you can see that it gains a stage when you spend a total of 72 mana while in the area. And it has a maximum of 4 stages. So it starts at 1 stage, and it gains one. It has to gain 3 stages. So in total, you have to spend 216 mana while you're in the area. And then while you're at maximum stages, for 1, you're getting added lightning damage. So let's look at his damage. I don't know what stages. Oh yeah. So when he's at max stages, he is gaining what's this? Like around 7% damage, right? Which is big. But look at his max hit, right? His max hit is skyrocketing by about 20%. Now why is that? Well, the gem says enemies in area deal 19% less damage while at maximum stages. Now that's a massive multiplier, right? The way we're getting this is through Enhance. So you can see the gem itself gives 10% less damage while at maximum stages. At level 1, we're scaling this with quality to 14, and then we're scaling this with quality again from Sigil of Power to, what was it? To 19. It's important you have a 23 quality one, because at 20 quality, you'll just have 18. So 1%, doesn't sound like much, but as much mitigation as you can get is nice. Next, he's running Flame Dash and Blood Rage. I'm going to talk about Flame Dash in a second, but these 2 gems are good. Blood Rage gives you Frenzy charges while you're mapping. Spark the Nova, Inspiration, all that stuff. He's running Vitality Arrogance, like I recommend. And then he's running this new setup, Enduring Cry, Call to Arms. What this does is it's completely automated, right? So Enduring Cry, when you're nearby a powerful enemy, such as Lycia, you will get endurance charges, right? Now let's look at his cooldown. Skill cooldown 6 seconds. The endurance charges last like 10 seconds. So you now have 100% uptime on endurance charges. However, the way this gets even more powerful is by running Immortal Call. Now the way Immortal Call works is if you have endurance charges, it increases the buff effect of this by 40, like, what is it, over twice. So without endurance charges, you get around 35% less damage taken, non-chaos. And then if you have 3 endurance charges, you get an additional 45% less damage taken. Or less physical damage taken. So look at his Fizz max hit. It goes from 46,000 to 102,000. Now he's running this on automation, and it's not always going to be up. So it's a little, you know, pick your poison, whether you want Mortal Call or like Steel Skin, where Steel Skin's not going to remove your endurance charges. But, well, you get the point. So then we're running Enhance. It should be Enhance 4, ideally. Oops. And then we're running Phase Run. Cool thing about Phase Run is that we have 100% uptime on it because we are running so much skill effect duration on the tree. So when it's automated with a high level automation, this will be 100% uptime. So you'll just be zooming around to get to the boss, and then automation, obviously. And then his auras / buffs, he's running Malevolence, obviously Clarity. Clarity is because he needs to sustain all this mana cost he's doing for Sigil of Power. So he dropped Dread Banner for Clarity. He's running Arctic Armor. If you get another level on this, that's a little bit more reduction. Herald of Agony, this can be level 1. Doesn't matter. Enlighten, and then Purity of Lightning. You can see that he's 90 max res too. So then on his Asanas, he has Temp Chains, blah, blah, blah. I think that's it for the updates for the real version. Real quick, I want to talk about a possible version you can do. So Militant Faith has this node called Cloistered, and what Cloistered does is instead of Intolerance of Sin, this would be Cloistered, and Cloistered makes you immune to elemental ailments while you're on consecrated ground if you have at least 150 devotion. Now, there's this Uber Cortex drop called, I can't think of it, but I'm just going to search for consecrated ground, called Rational Doctrine, right? Now, what this does is you have consecrated ground around you while stationary if strength is your highest attribute, and then 25% chance to create profane ground on crit strike if intelligence is your highest attribute. And then these linger, right? It's like Inquisitor. So if you get strength and intelligence to be balanced and above dexterity, which this is easy because you just tattoo your dex out. Granted, you're going to have to fix your spell suppression because we're taking Mage Bane. You can actually drop the 41% chance to avoid being shocked and 60% chance to avoid being shocked on the boots. And you can drop these for better mods, for example, action speed and like life regen or something on the boots. Plus, you gain consecrated ground, which is 5% regen. It's also curse reduction. And profane ground is also good because it grants extra crit chance. And that's nice because, first of all, we run Flask on crit to keep our Progenesis up. And then we also run EO. So if you can fit this in, it's really great. I wouldn't recommend it past, a very high budget, because it's going to be very hard to fit in with suppression. You're probably going to have to get 14 suppression roll on your boots, or figure something else out for suppression. But yeah, that's the update. If you have any questions, like I said, join the Discord. It's in the description. Yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like or sub. Thank you.